The names Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez should ring like stadium cheers in your ears, whether you're a baseball enthusiast or not. And this is mostly because of their unique story and epic rivalry that went on for years. But then, way before they rocked the world with their championship rings and celebrity arm candy, they were just two young guns with a bond forged in leather and camaraderie. Then, all of a sudden, it all went downhill, and it became more about animosity and rivalry between these two for as long as they stayed in the limelight. But where did it go wrong? How did the winds of change blow away this once unbreakable bond? And did they ever bury the hatchet? Well, let's get into the details and untangle the web of this diamond drama between two titans who turned rivals. You definitely want to watch to the end. Now, let's start from the good old days. Jeter and Rodriguez met at a college baseball game between the University of Michigan and the University of Miami, and their friendship clicked almost immediately. The Mariners would snap up Rodriguez shortly after, but the roots of their bromance already ran deep. They bunked at each other's homes, shared post-game laughs, and heck, they were so tight that teammates teasingly dubbed them boyfriends. After rocking 6 seasons with the Seattle Mariners, A-Rod hunted for greener pastures and a fresh taste of victory. The Texas Rangers came knocking, waving a colossal contract that would trigger a rewrite of the game's rules. The deal was a historic 10-year deal worth a jaw-dropping $252 million in 2001. Meanwhile, Jeter was with the New York Yankees during this entire time, and he went on to spend his entire 20-year career there. Continuing with his brilliance on the field and slamming headline-worthy homers, A-Rod secured the throne of the highest-paid athlete on the planet. But hey, he wasn't just signing his name on that dotted line, he was putting his best pal Derek Jeter on notice too. At some point in the same year, a candid moment was caught on the airwaves when Rodriguez unleashed verbal curveballs during an ESPN radio interview. He dropped Jeter's name into the mix with a subtle grin and a dash of shade, saying that Derek's got his own thing going on. This slyly suggested that his longtime friend might not quite match his mega payday. That's not all. A-Rod was also caught saying things like he might hit, I don't know, 150 million or something, who knows. Now imagine you were Jeter, and your best buddy was on air dissecting your game and tossing opinions around like a baseball. It definitely was a head-scratcher. But then Jeter, who we can safely call the captain of cool, focused on a different prize. He brushed off the chatter and zingers in his classic calm and collected style, deflecting them like a seasoned pro. "I've got a different target in my sights," he quipped back at the reporters. "I'm chasing Yogi's record, the 10 World Series championships." It all sounds like a joke, right? Just two friends having a good laugh in the face of the media. Well, except it didn't pan out that way. Instead, things took a nosedive from that moment onward. The subtle war. As if his snide comments were not enough, A-Rod soon unleashed a verbal fastball in a jaw-dropping cover story with Esquire that sent shockwaves through the sports universe. He had some fiery feelings to share about Jeter, and boy, he swung for the fences. Clearly, the star had a point to make as he dissected the curious case of sports writers and their ink-stained opinions. But what was more surprising is that the particular opinion he was ranting about had the name of his longtime friend, Derek Jeter. The captain, as the writers called Derek, got his fair share of praises raining down like a confetti after a championship victory. But A-Rod? Oh, he wasn't too thrilled about the disparity. "He's got it easy," Rodriguez quipped. "Talent all around him, smooth sailing, no leadership burdens," and so on. Ouch, right? Well, that's not even all of it. The punches kept coming. A-Rod took another swing, which came like a fastball aimed at his head. Facing Jeter? Sure, he's good, but you don't huddle up to the team and say, "Watch out for Derek." "Nah, he's not the game changer," was his reply to a reporter's question. This time, Jeter wasn't going to let it just slide. No one would. He suited up for his comeback, but like a seasoned pro stepping up to the plate, he played it cool instead of responding with a fiery retort. "We've moved on," he calmly announced to the press, his grin as polished as his fielding. However, in a later released docuseries, Jeter pulled back the curtain on his true feelings. He wasn't going to keep quiet anymore, and in a moment of raw honesty, he spilled the beans. "Those comments cut deep," he admitted. "Loyalty runs deep for me. Those words, they stung like a fastball." Obviously, Jeter had been feeling the wound, deep and unrelenting. This became especially apparent as he went on to reveal the truth that simmered beneath his cool demeanor. Stats? Sure, A-Rod's had them. Big contracts? Yep, that too. But those comments? They shattered trust. They fractured loyalty. A true friend wouldn't fire those shots. Well, it was still cool at this point until the code was broken. Breaking the code. At this point, everyone thought the two childhood buddies would just call each other or something and talk things through. By the way, the public facade remained polished, smiles painted on, and cordial nods exchanged. Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez were pros after all. But oh, if those dugout walls could talk, they'd tell you a different story. Well, things spun out of control at the grand stage of the 2001 All-Star Game. Rodriguez strutted in, arm in arm with singer Joy Enriquez. Obviously, she was his date to the event. As introductions flowed like a practiced play, Rodriguez proudly presented his date to Jeter. At that moment, a twist worthy of a Hollywood rom-com unraveled, as it seemed like Jeter was immediately smitten by his colleague's girl. It just so happened that Jeter would later ask Joy out, not minding that she was his buddy's date. And to make things even more complicated, Joy agreed to Jeter's advances and they started dating. Before the inning was over, the New York Post already had its scoop, and it read something like, "Jeter and Joy, a match made in celebrity heaven." But wait, dating a buddy's girl? That's definitely a no-no in the realm of the bro code. However, the big question is, were they still bros? Definitely not. The air had already shifted. Alliances blurred, and the unwritten bro code seemed to have melted away like ice cream on a hot summer day. Meanwhile, Rodriguez was surprisingly cool as a cucumber. He didn't flinch, didn't raise an eyebrow. In fact, he brushed off the whole affair like a seasoned infielder handling a routine ground ball. "Derek's my guy, and honestly, I've got no reason to sweat this," he declared to the New York Daily News. "No drama, no sweat, just a pro doing his thing." Buddies or just teammates? By the year 2004, the stage was set for an unexpected collision. Alex Rodriguez was about to join the Yankees, which is the same team his old friend Derek Jeter has been playing for. Things were about to get more interesting. Curious minds wondered how these two heavyweights would dance together on the field. Would it be a smooth partnership, or should fans get ready for the next level rivalry? Well, Rodriguez and Jeter didn't shy away from a challenge either. They made it known that it was a fallacy for anyone to think they would get along. The lack of chemistry could be very much felt on the field, like an orchestra missing its rhythm, or like a dance out of sync. During Game 6 of 2004, the ALCS, Rodriguez had a few missteps, like when he knocked the ball loose during a play near first base in the 8th inning and when he swatted at Boston pitcher Bronson Arroyo's glove. This transformed him from a star to a scapegoat, and he was the one to shoulder the blame for the Yankees' misfortunes. The crowd roared, the media's eyes narrowed, and Jeter, the captain, was supposed to leap to his friend's defense. But he chose to be silent, leaving a void where a shield should have stood. He would even go on to defend his silence, saying, "My role is to play, not to dictate the fans' cheers or the media's tunes." A new chapter. Luckily, as if the story was written for movies, a new chapter unfolded in 2009, when Rodriguez confessed to the use of steroids. The Yankees became a sea of unity and flanked him as he admitted his mistakes. Amid the storm, Jeter emerged as a pillar of support, urging his team to stand as one, to embrace and move beyond the transgressions. After the business was concluded and A-Rod served his punishment, the Yankees found their stride, and victory crowned their efforts. In the afterglow of triumph, Rodriguez and Jeter danced together in celebration, an unexpected encounter that left the world in awe. However, as Jeter bid farewell to the field in 2014, the echoes of their past rivalry reared its head once more. And at this point, many people wanted to know if the feud would continue. But then, when asked about Rodriguez, Jeter proclaimed that the chapter was seemingly closed. It wasn't clear if they would continue as friends, foes, or just colleagues. In 2017, a missing puzzle piece at Jeter's jersey retirement ceremony also raised eyebrows once again. A-Rod didn't show up, and his absence lingered like an unsung note, a silent question unanswered. Well, Rodriguez chose not to answer the question when asked what really happened to warrant his absence. So, nobody can really give an answer as to why this one-time best buddy was not at his friend's jersey retirement ceremony.